Peggy 16.
As the Empire of Man recovers from the Great War against Chaos, those in the Old World celebrate Magnus's victory. But the Dark Gods are planning their revenge. The safety of the Empire is now threatened by a new enemy who dares to strike at Magnus himself. The fate of the Empire lies in our hands. If Magnus dies, the Empire dies with him.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris from the Chaosbane team. Today, we're going to highlight Elantir, the High Elf Mage. Please remember, the gameplay images you're going to see are from an alpha version of the game. During the Great War against Chaos, Magnus the Pious declared an immediate amnesty for any magic user willing to serve. Elantir gained quite the reputation during the war for his mastery of the magical arts, both when fighting the forces of Chaos in Prague and during the Siege of Kislev. He specializes in dealing damage from a distance. Through his mastery of the winds of magic, Elantir can cast a number of different spells. He replenishes his magical energy by dealing damage. The flip side is that his spells consume a lot of energy to cast. It's up to you to choose the right combination of spells to make the most of Elantir's abilities. Whilst he deals damage with single target attacks, it's his area of effect abilities where he really shines. For example, Aetheric Hurricane is a great way to hold off a group of enemies while inflicting damage, and by casting Phoenix Shield, he can create a wall of flame, perfect for lighting up an oncoming horde. As a ranged caster, Elantir is vulnerable in melee combat, but he's not weighed down by the heavy armor of a soldier, making him much more agile, using both his dexterity and magic to stay out of harm's way. But don't worry, if you're running low on energy, he knows his way around a blade. Warhammer Chaosbane is great in co-op, and Elantir can play a vital role in the team. Elantir can freeze time to give his allies, or himself, the chance to unleash their fury on entire waves of Chaos Demons. And by toggling the right stick of your controller, or by holding down the spacebar on a keyboard, you can move and direct your abilities to follow the enemy's movements. Elantir's most powerful spells come from the god Hoath, the elven god of knowledge, learning, and wisdom, the patron god of wizards. You can unlock these new abilities from a specific skill tree. But if that's not enough to crush the threat of chaos, then he can activate his bloodlust abilities. With these exceptional new skills, you can activate devastating new spells for a short period of time, especially handy during boss fights. That's a wrap for the gameplay video dedicated to the High Elf Mage, Elantir. Follow Chaosbane on social media for more details and gameplay videos, and I'll see you next time. Hey everyone, I'm Chris from the Chaosbane team. Today, I want to introduce Conrad Valen, one of the 4 playable heroes in Warhammer Chaosbane. Before we begin, please remember the gameplay you're going to see is from a version of the game that is still in development. Valen is a captain of the Empire, trained in arms from a young age, and a veteran of many battles against the enemies who threaten the old world. He's a strong fighter who can take heavy damage and deal with entire hordes of enemies. He's a close combat specialist and always carries a shield to fend off attacks. Valen's combat skills are mainly based on melee attacks, crowd control, and area of effect abilities. With his powerful melee attacks, Valen can crush any enemy. And with attacks that cause high area damage, he can stand up to enemy hordes. Valen can also taunt enemies, so they focus him and leave his allies alone. By planting banners and fighting in their area of effect, Valen and his allies can take advantage of considerable bonuses during fights. This includes bonuses to damage, armor, and immunity to crowd control. Each character also has a unique class skill. Valen uses a shield to knock back enemies and stun them. In Warhammer Chaosbane, all playable characters are aligned with a god. As a captain of the Empire, Valen worships the all-powerful Sigma, patron god of the Empire. By making offerings to your patron god, you can unlock passive skills to improve your character's abilities, as well as even more powerful active skills. The gifts bestowed by Sigma are not only the extraordinary weapons Valen has at his disposal. As he fells the creatures of chaos, he feels his bloodlust gauge. Once full, he can unleash his fury with new supercharged skills, perfect for getting out of a tight spot. With the first level of Bloodlust, he can tear through enemies with a Warhammer. On the second level, he summons a huge shield and charges through the creatures of chaos while dealing immense damage. At the highest level is the ability to smash the ground with superhuman strength, dealing heavy area damage and repelling the enemies around him. That's it for the gameplay video dedicated to Conrad Valen. Follow Chaosbane on social media for more details and gameplay videos, and I'll see you next time.
Long before the reign of our glorious Karl Franz, the bloodthirsty tribes of the North united and invaded the Empire of Man. The Great War against Chaos raged on, up until Magnus the Pious rallied the citizens of Nuln, resisted the enemy, and defeated the Chaos leader, known as the Ever-Chosen, scattering the invaders in the process. But the forces of Chaos have crawled back from the shadows to strike at the Empire. Unless something is done, the Empire of Man will again descend into darkness and turmoil.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris, from the team working on Warhammer Chaosbane. Today, we're going to take a look at the first Warhammer fantasy hack and slash. The story takes place shortly after the Great War against Chaos. Just as the Empire of Man finally seems to be out of the clutches of danger, a new threat emerges that will upset the balance of power. And it's up to you, and your allies, to confront it. Our journey begins in the sewers of Nuln, the current Imperial capital. As you can see, the sewers are infested by servants of the god Nurgle, the Chaos god of disease and decay. A number of his minions have come to greet us, including Nurglings, cultists, and the ever-unpredictable Chaos Spawn. I'm playing as a captain of the Empire, Conrad Valen. Valen is strong and tenacious, an ideal character if you enjoy melee combat. In Warhammer Chaosbane, each class has its own unique gameplay style, and a variety of skills that complement that style and the other classes. As a melee specialist, the Imperial Captain can endure a lot of damage, apply crowd control, and turn large hordes of enemies to his and his allies' favor. Speaking of allies, it would be good to have some ranged support to dish out some extra damage. So, I'm going to invite a friend to join my party in local co-op. All he needs to do is pick up a controller and press a button. There. I've been joined by the High Elf Elantir. Elantir is a mage who deals a lot of damage from a distance. However, he is much weaker in melee combat, and has to keep his enemies at bay by using all the spells in his arsenal. Each class has its own unique ability. Elantir is able to control the placement of all of his spells and redirect them on a whim. You'll face various monsters in the game, whether the weaker Nurglings or more powerful foes like Chaos Spawn and Beast of Nurgle. You'll need to come up with unique strategies to defeat these creatures. Next up is a very powerful foe. Mutaliths are abominations, mutated by the power of chaos and infused with magic, making them much more difficult to defeat. To help, we'll activate Bloodlust, a devastating skill that gives you extra speed and new powers for a limited time. The duration and number of new skills is based on your Bloodlust level, so you'll have to choose the best time to unleash your fury. Once the Mutalith has been defeated, you're free to finish exploring the dungeon. For now, it looks like our quest is coming to an end. We hope you enjoyed this first look at Warhammer Chaosbane. Make sure you follow our social media channels for more details and gameplay videos, and I'll see you next time.